Hello, this is Diane from Dianne'sCards.com and welcome back to Case Sunday. You remember that the last time we took a card and cased it. That means copy and share everywhere. So when you're copying, you may not want to exactly copy it. You want to make some changes up so that it becomes your card. And if you recall last week, we used a card that I had gotten in a swap, and we changed up the colors and we changed the orientation. We moved it from landscape to portrait. So this week we're going to do something similar. This is a card that I found in my stash that I made about sometime in the winter. This is a stamp set that was part of Celebration. So it's no longer available. So I really don't want to, I don't have it anymore. I don't use stamp sets that are retired. So, but I really like this card. So I decided I would case this card. So last time it was a swap, this time it's one of my own cards. So this time we're going to change up the colors and we're going to change the stamp set because we don't have the stamp set. So on this one I used the stamp set, very lovely stamp set, Blooms and Wishes. One of the things I like about this stamp set, it's two-step stamping. There are all kinds of combinations of things, and there are also some nice sentiments. So I decided to make a wedding card with the best wishes sentiment, and this is how it turned out. So you can see that I replaced the Wisteria Wonder and Perfect Plum. Yeah, Wisteria Wonder and Perfect Plum and Pear Pizzazz. I replaced them with Lemon Lime Twist, Powder Pink, and Berry Blast. And of course I did the sentiment in the darkest color. You always want to try to do that. So to create this card, first I took some thick cardstock, thick Whisper White cardstock, and I cut it at 5.5 by 8.5. Then I took a piece of the Berry Blast cardstock and I cut that at 5.25 by 4. And I adhered that to the front. Now I'm just going to put that aside. So for the stamping, the first thing I want to do is work with this little stamp of the leaves, and I'm using the Lemon Lime Twist ink on this, and I'm going to just gently tap it. Now I have to be careful because I sometimes when the stamp is a little bigger, a little smaller rather than the block, you're going to get extra ink on there. So I'm going to stamp. Oh, here it is. And sometimes I might be going off the paper, so I just took my piercing mat and just wrapped it in a pretty well used mat. So I'm going to ink it up and stamp, and then I'm going to stamp off, and I'm just changing the angle a little bit there, and I'm going to stamp and then stamp off, and I'll continue all around there till it looks something like this. I'm pretty happy with that. And sometimes I actually added some ink and decided like I needed something over here maybe. So I stamped off and just added a little wherever I felt I needed a little more of the border that I created with that. So the next step was to take the powder pink ink and use this flower stamp from the set. And now you notice on this one there are 4 flowers, but they're a little bigger. I tried using the bigger flowers from here and they were too big. So I decided, well, I'll use the little flower, but I'll use 6 of them. So I'm just going to first, with two-step stamping, I like to do the lighter color first. So I'm going to ink up and stamp and stamp. There we are. And then the next step is to take the Berry Blast, the darker color, which will also be my background color, and that will really make it pop. So I'm going, again, this is a stain on this. I know that. I keep trying to wipe it off, but let's put this away. So with the Berry Burst rather, sorry, I keep calling it Blast. I want to make sure I've got this nicely on the mat. I'm going to ink this up, being careful not to get any extra ink here. And then I have to, I'm going to guess here, but it's really better if I get my head right over, but then all you'd see is my head. Close. Not bad, but close. So I'm going to do all 6 of those, and then I will do my sentiment for the front. Best wishes. And again, this has some stains on it, but they don't seem to be a problem. And then I'm going to just adhere this. That's where I started. Oops, not that one. I will finish this later. Didn't quite finish it, but I will. And there you have it. It's going to end up looking pretty much like this. So for this, I always like to keep these closed. Always worried about a tragic accident. So the difference here, our Step It Up today, we changed the colors and we also changed the stamp set. So that's another way that you can case a card and still make it your own. If for some reason you just can't think of some design to use, just start with a card you like and then change it up. Or maybe you really like the design and you want to make it again, but you have different materials available to you. So that's our lesson for today. Lesson sounds pretty important. That's what we've talked about today, is another way to case, and we used a lovely, lovely stamp set called Blooms and Wishes. So I hope you'll come back next Sunday and see what other ways and how we can case.